Good morning, Mahmoud Al Tayyib, Egyptologist, English and German tour guide from Edfu Temple. Today I would like to share something with you. Now I'm in front of Temple of Edfu. We are located 150 kilometers south of Luxor, 150 kilometers or less north Aswan. We can call it in the center, in between Luxor and Aswan, and Edfu. We're located in the boundary of the Aswan Governorate. So today, that is the facade of the temple, and there are very important things when you see, like the stools here, the open air court yard. In fact, there are the sound light show at the temple at night. There are very important thing about this temple, and we can describe Edfu temple as the most preserved temple in Egypt today. The history of this temple, which dedicated to the Falcon god Horus, son of Osiris and Isis. What we can see, the elements of the buildings dates back to the Ptolemy's period, who came after Alexander the Great, 332, and they started 305 until 31 BC. Cleopatra was the last ruler of this family, Greek time. And this temple 100% dates back to the Greek time and no Roman. And started from the Ptolemy number 3 and ended by Ptolemy number 12. And each temple in ancient Egypt known building from inner parts to outer. So more old is located in inner parts. In fact, in this temple there are very important festivals, rituals happened. But before I talk about them, let's talk about the temple history itself. As I mentioned today, what we can see structures dates back to Greek time. But before, there are the foundations. For example, there at left hand, you can see some blocks dates back to different periods. For example, for late period, and we can catch New Kingdom kings like Ramesses II, like Thutmose III over there. Also, when go straight, you can see some blocks dates back to Thutmose III. Menkheb al-Ra. There are late period kings, as you see. There are Basmatic. There are king dates back to the 25th dynasty. Here. And so on. Nefer Ibra, Basmatic, 26th dynasty. And here, king of the 17th dynasty. And so on, dates back to different periods. But according to the up-to-date excavations work by Chicago last year, 2018, when the excavation work next to the Divine Birth House of Mamizi, they found foundations, workshops, dates back to the 5th dynasty, dates back to royal seals, and some names carried the name of Jedkara Isisi, the king of the 5th dynasty. That means Old Kingdom, 5th dynasty. Imagine that is 5th dynasty all kingdom that were here in this location of Edfu temple. But before, most of Egyptologists thought maximum of the new kingdom, like Moses said, or Hatshepsut, the other kings for the other acts of the temple, old and ancient structures dates back to Ramses III, Ramses IV, and so on, that we can catch later in some videos in details. And now I would like to share you that some highlights about the festivals in this temple. So the head dress of this video, maybe that's I can mention that is main festivals in this temple. One of the most important festivals in this temple, there are the struggle, the conflict between Horus and his uncle Sis, the evil god, and Horus going ahead to restore the throne and keep order on the earth, fighting the disorder. So the main thing in ancient Egyptian mythology, order and disorder. Order can achievements by Horus, the follower, son of Osiris, who ruled in the first life on the earth, and each king in ancient times represent Horus, and after death will transform to Osiris as god of the eternal life, the god of eternity, the god of paradise, the god of the eternity forever, and so on. So this temple, which they dedicated to the Falcon god, and the struggle, that's the left hand corridor, that's in details, maybe that's in future we can talk and see, and many people when visit, that's the main thing that a tour guide going to explain it in details. The second festival here, we can describe it as the Day of Love, the Valentine Day in ancient time. That's which dedicated to Horus and his beloved wife, Goddess Hathor, God Horus and Goddess Hathor, where she is in Dendera, her cult temple dedicated to her in Dendera, 60 kilometers north of Luxor, more 200 kilometers north of Edfu, where we are now. And this is called the beautiful meeting in this temple, when Hathor coming sail from north upstream, sails up to meet her husband in his temple here, and when she back to Dendera, that's downstream to Dendera, 200 kilometers. So we can describe it the beautiful meeting festival, the beautiful meeting feast, the beautiful meeting day, and we can describe it also Valentine Day. And you can see these scenes twice, right and left hand, one time downstream, one time upstream, that sacred bark on shoulders, and then appears that shrines of Horus and Hathor, two eyes left and right hand after you cross this gateway. The third festival in this temple is very important day and event in this temple. It's called the Falcon Day. The Falcon Day which is happened in this location where we are. We can see here the courtyard, one of the largest in the front of the facade of that temple of Horus. Main reason was, in fact, we know well that is in temple the god statue were located in the main shrine. It's called the sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, and the statue is made out of gold. And in fact, in the temple itself, there are another symbol of God. We can call it the life symbol of the God. Give you examples. For example, goddess Bastet, the cat goddess. There are live cat. The priest care of it, feed it, care very well, and after that, let's mummify it and keep it a divine mummy of the cat, and they choose another one. It's again, we can touch it and see and realize that's in Komombo temple. When we go to the crocodile museum, there are the mummified bodies of the crocodiles. What the story behind? In fact, the mummified bodies of the crocodile one day were life symbols of the god Sobek in its temple of Komombo. So was the mummified crocodiles. Each one was life symbol. One day in a pool aside of temple represent the life symbol of the god. And there are life symbol of the cow, life symbol of Serabium, the bull in Saqqara, and the ibis in Tun al-Jabal. That's Serabium in Tun al-Jabal. That is the necropolis of the two symbols of the god ibis as baboon or as ibis bird. Here in Edfu was a life symbol of the god for sure is a falcon. They choose a sacred one of the beautiful falcon, and they keep in a shrine or a tent and so on. And on the day of Falcon, that the high priest climbed up the upper part of the pylon, the gateway up, and he is holding the falcon, the live falcon, and holding it carefully, and then leave it to fly. And the audience, people were like top VIP, the nobles, for example, that's who allowed to come into the temple, watch the glory of the God in the heaven. And was the beautiful, lovely moment when the day, Falcon Day, when that's flying on the heaven and they watching the God itself. I would like to focus on about the point when I mentioned the nobles or top VIP who allowed to come into temples. We have to know there are very important things, the relationship between the human beings or the Egyptians or even the foreigners who live in Egypt and worship or believe in gods and deities here. There are three different levels when we describe the relationship between human beings and temple. From lower to upper, the normal people, the audience, public, that's not allowed completely to get into temples. When they come maximum, the outdoor of temple, come by their offerings, and the priest accepted then this, and they say to them, go back, go in safe, that God accepted you and accepted your offerings, and that we will pray to you. The second, where the highly connected people, top VIP, that's allowed to them to go into the temple, but maximum they can cross the gateway or the open courtyards in different periods, because of there are temple built inside inner part to outer, there are open courtyards in different times, different periods, so allowed to go in. For example, this location, that's maximum to top VIP to be here standing watching during the Falcon Day, watching the beautiful moments and event here. The high level, or the first level, we describe the priests or the high priest himself, who only one capable of getting into the shrine of the statue, who prays 3 times a day: sunrise time, midday, and sunset time. So again, common people, maximum outdoor by their offerings, and say to them goodbye, go home. And then top VIP capable of getting in, standing, and being here in open courtyard, while the only one able to watch the statue of the god or the god itself, the high priest of the temple, of each temple, for sure. So again, the highlights of the festivals, as mentioned, the struggle, the conflict between order and disorder to achieve the order on the earth by Horus when he get rid of his uncle. And we have to realize and mention when Horus didn't kill the evil, but he dismissed evil to the desert to get away from the Nile Valley stability of the Egyptian where they live. The second festival were the beautiful meeting feast, when Horus and Hathor coming and meet together in temple and back to each temples and so on. The third one, the Falcon Day, which I described and explained in details. Thank you for your listening, and I wish all the best. I would like to say, if one come to visit this beautiful temple to enjoy and see one of the most preserved temple ever in Egypt, in good condition, elements and so on, and quality of art, carving in details. There are different forms and so on. And over there, the most beautiful thing I would like to focus on, but I try to walk to be close, even the gateway of the over there, the Falcon one, that's the most preserved. I would like to zooming in. It is the beautiful Falcon, the end of the video. Here is Mahmoud Al-Tayyib, the Egyptologist, English and German tour guide from Luxor. It is nice if you join to enjoy and visit Egypt. Thank you very much. Goodbye.